Hey there, creepy peeps, and welcome to another Stale movie review. Today we are talking about The Ruins. Really quick though, before I get into anything else, I want to say thank you to my creepy patron peeps for your support of my channel. Thank you so much. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep, you can follow that link in the description. Speaking of creepy patron peeps, The Ruins was requested of me by one of those lovely people, Azul. So thank you so much for requesting this, Azul. It's been such a long time since I've seen this movie. I've never reviewed it properly before, so I was really excited to do so now. Directed by Carter Smith and starring Jenna Malone, Jonathan Tucker, and Shawn Ashmore, The Ruins follows a group of friends on holiday in Mexico who find themselves quarantined on top of a Mayan temple by the locals. The group find out soon enough that the locals at the base of the pyramid are nothing compared to the evil that grows within the pyramid. Alright, so this movie is based on a book of the same name written by Scott Smith, who also coincidentally wrote the screenplay for the movie. That being said though, let's get into what I liked about The Ruins. I love the simplicity of this movie. It's definitely one of those like one location kind of isolation movies, you know, and those sometimes can be boring, but if it's done right, it's super effective. Obviously that's a subjective statement because I didn't like Downrange, which is also a similar type of movie, like it being all in one location. I feel like they do a good job of making you feel trapped on top of that pyramid with all the characters, but they break it up by showing, you know, them going into the pyramid and occasionally going down the pyramid and kind of interacting with the locals. And by interacting, it's more just like testing to see how far they can get. They kind of break it up a little bit so you're not completely in one location for the whole movie. You get little different pieces of location, but yeah, I don't know, it's really effective. I also love how the movie isn't just about a carnivorous plant covering a pyramid. It's psychological as well. So this is definitely spoilers, but if you've seen the movie, you know that the plant has like the ability to kind of echo back sounds, and it really f***s with the character psychologically. So it's not just like the plant like comes out of nowhere and grabs you and devours you whole. It f***s you up first. You know, it's not as easy as just being eaten by a plant. It's like you're gonna go crazy before it eventually kills you and eats you, which I love. It also shows that the plant is way more sentient than we would tend to believe about a movie about a carnivorous plant. We also kind of obviously have the anti-tourism kind of narrative here. This movie was actually one that we were thinking about doing for Does This Offend You for our tourism episode, which I will leave a link for right up here somewhere. But what I liked about this movie is that I think the native characters are supposed to be Mayans or like descendants of Mayans. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, but I think they are. But I like that they try and warn them first. So, or at least that's how I interpret it. So in the movie, like they approach the base of the pyramid, don't touch anything. They're just approaching it. And then the natives come out like with guns and bows and arrows and everything and like threatening them and trying to like, or what sounds like they're threatening them. But I think that they're warning them. They're trying to say, hey, don't f***ing go near that f***ing plant. And so obviously, you know, where it kind of becomes anti-tourism is that obviously the group does not understand what they're saying, and they just see like the weapons pointed at them, so they freak out, which leads Amy to kind of back into the pyramid and step on the vines, which makes the natives freak out, and that's kind of what damns them. So it's not because, at least the way I see it, it's not because they're being like sacrificed to it or anything like that. I think it's like a genuine mistake, and it's because they couldn't understand the language, that they didn't understand that they shouldn't go near that plant. The freaking ending gets me every time. I'm definitely going to talk about it. The movie's 10 years old. It's so effective. I feel like whenever we watch horror movies, I feel like it's kind of natural for us to try and figure out the rules of the movie, especially when it's something supernatural, you know? Like if it's a shark movie, it's like, okay, we can't go in the water because of, you know, all this, because it's a shark and it'll get you. I feel like as a viewer, you're kind of trying to figure out the rules of this plant. Like, you know, you're trying to figure out, okay, do you have to be wounded already? Is it attracted by blood? So if you're bleeding, are you more likely to, you know, get eaten by the plant? What's the deal? But they don't actually tell you any rules. And I think they kind of leave you to figure that out for yourself or think you have it figured out. So as you're watching the movie, you're like, okay, Amy is safe. She hasn't, you know, even though she touched the plant, we didn't see anything go into her. You know, she doesn't have any wounds. You know, it can't enter through a cut or anything like that, so she's fine. And you think she's escaped, and there's that split second right before the camera cuts away that you see the vine go across her face. And I think it's an awesome bit of editing too. I like how they cut away right as that realization hits her face. Like she sees it in the mirror, she sees the vine, and then it cuts away. And I fucking love it, it's so effective. But it just reminds you that you have no idea what the rules are. And I think that's kind of like a nice way to end it. Like you thought you knew what was going on in this movie, but you're wrong. Super effective. And I kind of wish they had ended the movie there instead of that little scene where the other people are approaching the pyramid looking for their friend. But I digress. I also really like the use of natural lighting. I can't say that for whatever reason. Natural lighting. So they use that especially on the scenes on top of the pyramid instead of trying to light them, you know, all Hollywood style. So obviously, you know, they're working with the sun and it creates a lot of harsh shadows on the actor's face or them being harshly backlit. But it works really well for the movie, not only because it's realistic, but it's a very harsh and dingy and dirty environment that they're in. So the lighting reflects that also, which is really nice. Which I feel like the film is not something I immediately want to rewatch when it's over. And every time I've seen this movie, it's been a few years since my last viewing. And it's kind of a dark ending also. It's a very depressing sort of movie. Maybe not as dark and heavy as some other ones, but if you really sit back and think about it, it is kind of a heavy movie. As good as I think this movie is, it's not good in the sense where I want to watch it a million times. That being said though, is the movie worth watching? Yes, absolutely it's worth watching. I don't think this movie is talked about enough. I think it's really well made. The internet definitely doesn't agree with me. I would give it a 4 out of 5. IMDb 5.9 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes a 48% critic score and a 30% audience score. I don't know what is wrong with everybody. And on Letterboxd it has a 2.8 out of 5. I don't know, I'm on a Mayan pyramid by myself, I guess. I really like this movie, I don't know. I hope Azul does. Hopefully you didn't recommend this because you thought I would rant about it or something. Hopefully at least you like it, Azul. So if you've seen The Ruins, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about it. I own the movie, so I watched it on my DVD. But if it is available on Amazon, I will leave an affiliate link on my Amazon affiliate page on my blog, which there's a link to in the description. There's no pressure to rent the movie using that affiliate link, but if you do, it does help out the channel a little bit. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here and become a Creepy Peep today. I post videos Monday through Friday, and you can ring that notification bell down there to be notified every time I post a video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay strange. Bye.